Hello my friends, and welcome back to Sweet Magnolias. Today's video is going to be what I hope will be one of many videos talking about homestyle, showing you my homestyle, showing you things that I've done around my home. If you know me, you know that I love vintage and antique influences in my home, and over all the years it's always carried through in most of my style with my home, but I feel like now I'm at the point where you can really walk into my home and be able to tell that I like antiques and I like vintage things, and it's a very much more cohesive style than it has been in the past. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you some vignettes that I have done around my home. Specifically in my living room is where most of those things are. My living room is the first room that you see when you walk through the front door. So it's my pretty room. And so I want to show you some little vignettes that I've done around this room. If you enjoyed this video and you enjoy videos like this, make sure that you thumbs up the like button and make sure that you subscribe for future videos. But let's go ahead and get started. So this is a little bit of an overview of what my living room looks like, and we're going to go ahead and start over here on my favorite little spot. So I looked up a definition for what a vignette is, and in terms of interior design, it is a tiny curated style statement made up of a group of objects that are displayed on a shelf, a table, or elsewhere in the home. And don't worry, we will talk all about antique furniture and finding antique furniture in a future video. So one way that I add some really old world charm to my house is by having dried flowers. All of my dried flowers I dried myself. This basket of flowers is from last season, and then I think there were some that I had received in a bouquet from my husband. But it's really simple to dry flowers, and I just put them in this huge flower basket, and it took up a majority of the space, so it gave me a big statement piece. Secondly, our books. I have learned that you can do so much with old books, particularly these old Reader's Digests. I bought these for like $1 a piece at an estate sale, and they are so beautiful. And then on the other side, I just have a little junk journal that my mother-in-law bought me that I really love because it's got a very vintage feel. And then I will love little bottles and jars and things that are very old-fashioned and antique. And so I took this bottle and I wanted to add an element to it, but I couldn't get the butterfly down in the jar. So I took this butterfly. It's just a fake butterfly, I believe from Dollar Tree, and I just ever so slightly glued it to the back of the jar, and I can remove it if I want, but I think it adds a nice apothecary look. I do love old cameras. I have a lot of old vintage cameras. Some of them work, some of them don't. This is one that does not work, and I'm not quite sure how to get it to work, but it makes a very, very cute piece to add to this little vignette. I love it. It just makes me happy every time I see this little camera. And then lastly, I just have these little plastic swans. I have a whole bucket of these little vintage plastic figurines, but the colors on these in particular really tied this space together. Next, we move on to this little shelf that I have above the couch. This has been here for a while. If you follow me on Instagram, you know that I kind of changed this out seasonally, and I recently did it for spring. And this shelf takes a lot more thought than you would think because it is so small and somewhat narrow. I spend a lot of time trying to curate this shelf, but I have this little crochet doily that I added last year that I think just adds another element to it. And then I've done some cute little Easter bunnies. I have the clock that stays there always. I love having clocks in a living room. And then I have this beautiful cross stitch that wherever we go, wherever we may move to in the future, this cross stitch will hang in whatever house we live in. And then this is just a milk glass vase with some dried baby's breath and some more of those Dollar Tree butterflies. And I just think this shelf it's simple right now. It's not real busy, but I really like it. This is another shelf that I have hanging right next to my front door, And I don't know that you would consider this a vignette, but I am going to consider it to be that. It's very simple. I have these really beautiful silver sugar and cream bowl, this really pretty votive holder that casts beautiful shadows, and then this metal tin also has a candle in it, but it's a cheap Dollar Tree candle. I just love the way the red pops against the wood, and it's a very beautiful canister. So I love having interesting things for people to look at when they come into my home. Now, this picture is not anybody that I know. I like having old antique pictures of strangers, as weird as that may sound. And then, of course, another brass candlestick. This is also a favorite corner of mine where my roll top desk sits. I really love how this wall over here came together. Again, here I have the books, old vintage books. Some of these were estate sale finds, and some of these I bought at a thrift store, but I just love having old books, and they can really help you add height to a vignette. And then this picture frame I recently got, which is why there's nothing in it, but I'm going to print out the silhouettes that I made of my children and put those in this picture frame. But it's so beautiful, and I think I only paid like $5 for it. And then, of course, the little picture of the little boy. I have no idea who the artist of this is, but I've had a lot of people tell me that they have the same print, but I love it. I just love it. It reminds me of my son. And then I have my Homemaker Club little bunting. And then this beautiful lamp. This is actually an old lamp that was wired to be electric, and a lady who used to babysit me actually gave it to me, and it's my favorite lamp in my whole house. And then over here I just have a couple of little, one electric and one battery powered candle. And then this beautiful plant that I have had since we got married, and she has grown to be quite fierce and quite long. She goes all the way down the side of the desk, and she actually does really well in this corner. I thought she wouldn't because there's not a lot of light, but she's done very well. And then this shelf, the clock on this shelf, a man from our church who's actually passed away now, he made that clock and gave it to us when we first got married, and I am obsessed with it. And again, this will come with us no matter where we move. And then finally, I just have these oval prints. I think they work really well on this very small section of wall between the curtain and the next wall, and it just adds such an interesting element to this whole corner. The last space that I'm going to show you is a corner in my bedroom. Actually, you guys on YouTube have not actually seen my bedroom all that much since we moved our bedrooms and redecorated. But this is my husband's dresser, and I've created the cutest little corner here. This lamp is one of my best finds, I believe. I just love the beautiful little painted flowers. I think I bought this lamp for maybe $5. It's kind of quirky. It has a short in it, so it will go on and off, so I don't use it all that much. But I am obsessed with it, and the colors are just could not be more perfect. Maybe one day I'll get it rewired so that it won't flicker like a horror movie, but I really love it in this corner. And then next I have all these little vintage perfume bottles. I have had these since I lived at home. I love them. They just remind me of like a Victorian woman's dresser, even though they're not that old. And then I have this little tiny mirror that I found, I believe, at a thrift store. It might have been at a yard sale. And then I just filled it up with really cute little things. This cute little cherub ring box. I love putting my rings in this. And then these little prints, I've also had these prints since I lived at home. And the florals really tied in with the theme that I was going for in my bedroom. Now I believe it's time for some coffee and some Victoria magazine so that I can get further inspiration for my home style. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that you enjoyed seeing these little spaces around my home. I hope to do many more videos on home style and home decorating for you guys. If you did enjoy this video and you enjoy videos like this, make sure that you hit the like button so that I know you want to see more content like this. Comment down below what your favorite space was that I showed you, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. I will see y'all next week. Have a great weekend. Bye.